School. I'm Mike, with me as always, Eric. Tonight's special guests, we got Pablo and Karen. What's up, guys?
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, you want to talk about tonight's sponsor?
I do. Tonight's sponsor is Semi-Random Walks Podcast. Check it out.
Check them out on iTunes. Awesome. All right, so I don't think I've been as excited for a wine school episode as this one in a long time. We're going to talk about phylloxera.
Wow.
And
Okay.
phylloxera is probably the one thing that has had the largest impact on the global wine production of anything ever.
That's exciting.
It's pretty exciting. So what phylloxera is it's a louse. It's an insect. And what it does is it eats grapevines. It's like Ebola for grapevines.
Okay.
And when you look at the different types of grapes that are out there, there's different species of grapes. And all of the grapes that we know that are wine grapes, Cabernet, Merlot, Zinfandel, all those are all one species. And that particular species is the one that phylloxera loves.
Okay.
And literally, if phylloxera gets into a vineyard, it will devastate the entire vineyard. They chew on the roots, and the nutrients can't get up into the vine dies. So this happened all over the world back in the 1800s, everywhere. Wow. Phylloxera just took off and just destroyed massive grapes everywhere. And the thing about phylloxera is it likes this one species, but there's other species of grapes as well. And so think about like in America, like you have like Concord grape jelly, right? That's grapes, like table grapes, right? There's a bunch of garbage trash grapes that we grow in America that are good for some things, but they're not good for wine.
Right.
Phylloxera won't eat those. Those roots are too tough. So what happened is all of these vineyards were devastated, and people figured out that these American roots were impervious to phylloxera. So what they did is they started taking the American table grapes, planting those, letting them grow, and then basically cutting the top off and grafting on Merlot or Cabernet or Zinfandel or whatever. And so that's the way that grapes are now grown literally everywhere in the world. They're grown on these hardy rootstocks, and then we graft on these.
Who knew?
Who knew? And the best thing about it too is like when some French guy is getting all hoity-toity about France is so much awesome than America. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it great how all of your good wines are grown on our roots? And they're like, what? How dare you? And I'm like, yeah, even the most hallowed places in Burgundy and Bordeaux, it's all these American table grape roots with
on the flip side, is it America's fault that phylloxera actually took
it is
over Europe?
It is our fault.
Export, right?
We were exporting grapevines, and that's how the
You
louse
heard it
got
here
on.
first.
But there's a couple places where phylloxera can't live. So it can't live in sandy soil, and it can't live in very watery soil. So one way to get rid of it is you could flood your vineyard for 30 days. But, and this is why I'm so excited about tonight's episode, because there are certain areas where you can still get grapes or wine that are made with grapes that are all not grafted, pre-phylloxera vines. And it's different. I mean, think about the flavor of a grape. If you stick it onto another type of plant, it's going to change it.
Right.
Now, it doesn't make it bad or good or whatever. It just changes it. What we're about to drink tonight is pre-phylloxera. It's unchanged from the original.
Well, I'm excited.
It's pretty exciting. And there's two kind of ways that this happens. So one way is that there are certain geographic regions where phylloxera never got to. And so one of those is like Chile. Phylloxera never got to Chile. We're going to drink a wine from the Canary Islands, which is a wine in the middle, made in the middle of the ocean. The louse never got there. It's one way it happens. The other way it happens is sometimes the phylloxera gets into the vineyard and eats all of the grapes except for one little patch. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know.
This is it.
It misses it, or that soil was kind of weird or whatever. Most of the time when that happens, the vineyard owner would come through and rip out all the grapes and just replant them all. but some of them saved that little piece and are still making wine today. And so that's the second wine we're going to drink. This is from like literally one row in the vineyard is pre-phylloxera. And they only produce enough grapes to make 600 bottles of wine for the world out of this particular one that we're drinking. You want to talk about the wines?
Absolutely. So this is a Close Menu Meadow 2009, and these guys actually started making their wine out of their garage back in '98. So it's a total garage wine.
Wow.
They since like purchase on vineyards and move forward, but interesting story. Even more exciting. Moving on. So this is the wine from the Canary Islands. It's a 2013 Lanzarote, and this wine, it's not easy to grow wine in the Canary Islands because it's this like volcanic soil, right? And it's also a pretty harsh climate. There's virtually no rainfall. The winds are terrible. So what they actually do is they build these like semicircular walls. So they basically just stack rocks around the vines, and then the vines grow very close to the ground, and these rock formations basically protect it from the wind.
And it's crazy. It looks like the surface of the moon.
Right.
Like Google Canary Islands Vineyard next time you get a chance.
Yeah.
It's literally looks like the surface of the moon. It's like dark and craters. And
It's beautiful. I mean, looking at the pictures.
I want to go there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
The other thing is they actually fill up on the vines. They actually put this volcanic soil to trap the moisture a little bit better. So they trap the morning dew with this volcanic soil to try to get the vines to grow a little bit better, because otherwise, as I said, there's virtually no rainfall. Another thing about this particular wine is the bottle has this interesting shape. And from what we were told, this needs to be served a particular way. And I think,
Very certain way.
Mike, do you want to do the honors?
I think E, you're taller and more handsome than I am, so I think you should do it.
Clearly, I agree with that.
And you know, honest to God, you gotta love the Spanish people. They have so much fun with drinking wine in Spain, and they have all these different rituals. And this is an awesome one. You'll note that we poured the red. And by the way, this is a Merlot.
100% Merlot.
100% Merlot. But we didn't pour this because it has to be poured in a certain way with the little spout on the bottle.
All right. So the idea, and we have never practiced this.
We've never tried this
Very clear
before.
some
So wine
space.
school first. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be kind of around the
Oh my God.
back of your head.
Here we go.
Are you in?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good job.
Ah, nice. Yeah, look at that.
Even better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Very nice.
We're getting the hang of this.
I'm dying to try this. Awesome. All right. So, and this wine is actually a Malvasia, which is it's a white grape that's grown a lot in Europe and Spain. So let's do it. I am super excited about this. I think they're going to be different than what we're used to. I've never had either one of these wines, but I'm really excited to try them. So let's drink
All right.
this.
All right.
First, Canary Islands.
Cheers.
Eric,
Cheers.
nice job on the pouring.
Cheers. Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
There's a different taste to it.
A lot of acid.
Pretty
Acid,
high acid.
lemon, pineapple. This is awesome. Quite enjoying this. But partly might be the build-up.
It is pineapple-y.
There's pineapple in
Yeah.
there, right? And I get a little apricot. It's a lot of tropical fruit.
Yeah.
But really strong acid as well.
Surprisingly high. It's because it's a pretty warm climate, Canary Islands.
Yeah, a lot of fruit. This is delightful. This is really decent.
I think it's all in the pour.
It is.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, I think so too.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Now the real trick is like if you could pour it into someone's mouth, like,
that would be
Perón
awesome.
style.
Yeah.
That will be a take too.
That's another
Next
whole
episode.
other episode. All right, so now we're on to the pre-phylloxera Merlot from France. Awesome. I get like Coca-Cola and chocolate.
some black fruits.
Yeah, I'm getting some blackberry on the finish for sure.
It's very subtle.
I'm not sure if I would be able to tell that this is pre-phylloxera versus a regular Merlot though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, and how much pre-phylloxera wine do you actually drink to know
The difference?
what it
Yeah.
is, right? I mean, I think I've had it a handful of times.
I like
we
it
had,
a lot though.
We had to search this bottle out to
wow.
try to find it. Yeah, it's delightful.
Rare.
It's cool.
It's
and
very good though.
But you got to know the story. And actually, even if you look on the label, it even say like Vigne pre-phylloxerique, like vines from before phylloxera from 1850.
Oh wow.
So yeah, 600 bottles a year. That's all they produce out of this little tiny plot that, for whatever reason, phylloxera just was like, nah, we're not interested in that one.
We'll see you.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and that's phylloxera. Awesome, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Pablo, you
Cheers.
want to take us out, buddy?
Yeah, sure. 30 seconds of madness.
30 seconds of craziness.
30 seconds of craziness.
He can't say
First
madness.
time. First time.
Get it right.
Alright. Craziness.
You're fired.
The Juanitos Brazilian reggae.
Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers.